Breaking news: the Department for Work and Pensions is introducing a significant shift in how employment support is delivered to people with health conditions and disabilities across the UK. In a groundbreaking move, DWP job coaches will soon be stationed within GP surgeries and mental health services, aiming to provide more direct and accessible employment assistance to individuals navigating health challenges. This new strategy is part of a wider £167 million investment in the government's Connect to Work scheme, which is focused on supporting sick and disabled individuals into meaningful employment through a more community-based and health-focused approach. This initiative will impact numerous regions across the country, including the North East, the South Midlands, Devon, Plymouth, Torbay, Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire, West Sussex, Brighton, Berkshire, Cumbria, and areas in and around York and North Yorkshire. The core idea behind this change is to bring employment support services closer to where people already go for help with their health, in hopes of reducing barriers and making it easier to access support. This integration represents one of the most ambitious attempts to join up health and employment services in recent years. Supporters argue that it could help bridge a long-standing gap in services, where individuals fall through the cracks between health support and the job market. For many people living with long-term conditions, the transition back to work is not a simple or linear path, and placing employment advisors in familiar, trusted settings like GP surgeries might provide a gentler, more realistic route. Pat McFadden, Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, explained the government's motivation behind this major policy development, stating that dismissing individuals with long-term health conditions or disabilities does a disservice not just to those individuals, but to the wider economy as well. He emphasized that the goal is to provide people with a hand up, not a handout, by helping them realize their potential, build new skills, and pursue opportunities they may have thought were out of reach due to their health limitations. According to McFadden, local areas are already showing promising results, and he praised the early success of the initiative as proof that investing in people and their communities can produce positive outcomes for everyone. However, while the initiative has sparked hope in some circles, it has also drawn attention and concern from advocacy groups and disability organizations. James Taylor, Executive Director of Strategy at the disability equality charity Scope, welcomed the additional support for disabled job seekers, highlighting the fact that over 1 million disabled people in the UK want to work but face systemic barriers. He noted that specialist and personalised employment support is absolutely essential. However, he cautioned that any assistance must be truly voluntary and flexible. Forcing people into employment before they are ready, or pressuring them into unsuitable work, would not only be counterproductive but could also lead to further mental and physical strain. Taylor stressed that disability benefits, which help cover the extra costs that come with living with a disability, must not be compromised in the process. Employment support should enhance a person's well-being and independence, not be seen as a replacement or justification to cut essential financial aid. Ayla Osman, Director of Policy and Campaigns at the anti-poverty charity Z2K, added that the broader social security system itself needs urgent reform. She pointed out that instead of making life harder for vulnerable people through further cuts, the government should take this opportunity to implement meaningful changes through the TIMS review, focusing on how to remove the real barriers to work that many disabled people face. For her, the key to successful reform lies in empathy, realism, and ensuring that disabled individuals are at the heart of policy development. She also noted the importance of listening to lived experiences, rather than assuming that a one-size-fits-all approach will work. Meanwhile, Mikey Earhart from Disability Rights UK raised significant concerns about the risks of integrating job coaches into health settings like GP surgeries. He argued that many disabled individuals already have low levels of trust in the DWP due to years of difficult experiences with benefit assessments and perceived unfair treatment. Introducing DWP staff into medical environments, he suggested, could blur the lines between health and employment in a way that makes people feel unsafe or unwilling to seek medical help. Earhart questioned how employment coaching such as writing a CV could possibly help someone who is currently unable to work due to a serious health condition. He expressed fears that rather than feeling supported, individuals might feel monitored, judged, or pushed into employment conversations before they're physically or mentally ready, which could ultimately discourage them from engaging with the very health services that are meant to support their recovery. Alexa Knight, Director of Policy and Influencing at the Mental Health Foundation, brought a more balanced perspective. She acknowledged the potential benefits of the initiative if it's implemented with sensitivity and respect. In her view, when someone is experiencing both unemployment and mental health challenges, the primary focus must always be on helping that person feel better first. Only once a person is genuinely on the path to recovery should conversations about returning to work begin. Knight explained that if approached in the right way through holistic, compassionate, and patient-centered services delivered in familiar, safe settings, this kind of joined-up support could become a valuable part of someone's journey toward wellness and stability. The introduction of job coaches into health spaces is undoubtedly a bold move that aims to rethink how employment support is delivered, especially for those who are often sidelined by traditional job center models. It reflects a growing recognition that health and employment are deeply interconnected, and that support services should reflect this complexity. However, the success of this initiative will largely depend on how it is carried out in practice. If the presence of job coaches leads to positive, empowering, and voluntary interactions that genuinely help people find sustainable work when they're ready, it could represent a step forward. On the other hand, if it results in added pressure, confusion, or fear for people already dealing with health struggles, then it risks undermining trust in both the healthcare system and the DWP. It's important to remember that while employment can certainly play a role in improving mental and physical well-being, it cannot and should not be treated as a cure for illness. The right support at the right time delivered with care, respect, and understanding can help people build confidence, skills, and independence. But if mismanaged, even well-meaning policies can have unintended consequences. The coming months will be crucial in monitoring how this rollout affects communities, healthcare providers, and most importantly, the individuals at the heart of the scheme. As with any major policy shift, it will require ongoing dialogue with disabled people, medical professionals, and advocates to ensure it remains supportive, ethical, and effective. The government must remain transparent and accountable throughout this process and be willing to adapt the program based on real-world feedback. Community organizations and local GPS will play a vital role in shaping how this scheme is received and whether it builds bridges or walls. What's clear is that employment support is evolving, and the places we associate with health and care may soon become part of that transformation. Whether this change will empower or alienate those most in need remains to be seen. But the conversation has begun, and it's a conversation that impacts not just policies, but people's lives. As we await further developments and real-world outcomes, let's continue asking the important questions: are people being supported, or are they being pressured? Are their needs truly being understood, or is this just another bureaucratic box to tick? The answers to those questions will determine whether this investment becomes a beacon of hope or a missed opportunity. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Has the DWP got this right, or are there still major concerns that need to be addressed? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more in-depth coverage on policy changes, social issues, and everything that matters to you. Stay informed, stay aware, and take care.